Welcome back. The International Criminal Court, the ICC, issued an arrest warrant today for Russian President Vladimir Putin. It accuses him of war crimes and for overseeing the forced deportation of children from Ukraine to Russia. A Kremlin spokesperson called the warrant outrageous, but also null and void, since Russia withdrew from the ICC in 2016. Now, the arrest warrant comes just days before Chinese President Xi is expected to meet with Putin as the two leaders look to build upon what they have called a no-limits partnership. This will be Xi's first visit to Russia since Putin launched his invasion of Ukraine. Of course, basically the last time Putin left Russia was to visit with Xi just before he launched his invasion into Ukraine. Joining me now is Mike McFaul, the former U.S. ambassador to Russia and, of course, an NBC News national security and international affairs analyst. All right, Mike. Russia declares the ICC indictment null and void. The United States isn't exactly a friendly to the ICC either. So what does this mean and what doesn't it mean?
Well, it's a symbolic move first and foremost, right? Putin's not going to get arrested anytime soon. I think it's the right move, by the way. Everybody's talking about it. We want to talk about it. We want to talk about those crimes that he committed. We want to document them. And we want to deter others from possibly participating in the future. I think that's the most important thing. People might think twice. Russians might think twice about committing similar crimes in Ukraine, knowing that they're going to go. They went after Putin. They can go after you too, Mr. Soldier. So I think that's a good thing. Second, they're not a member. We're not a member. I think we should be a member personally. I think that would strengthen the ICC. But set that aside, this is going to haunt him for the rest of his life. He is going to be indicted by them for the rest of his life. He's going to have to think about where he travels for the rest of his life. And in other cases, I'm thinking of Milosevic. When he was initially indicted for crimes against humanity, he laughed it off. He was president. Ha, 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 no big deal. It became a big deal after he was overthrown and then eventually arrested.
And that's when, look, you're not going to see this happen while he's in power. It's if he's not in power and alive, then maybe we will see him not on Elba, but in The Hague. Let me move to the more concerning development over the last few days, and that is Xi going to Moscow. And it certainly looks like this is simply, it looks like he's going to agree to arm him. Any reason to believe he's not?
Well, I'm not sure he's going to do that. I'm not sure yet. I think we should wait. I think the strategy of exposing intelligence that the United States uncovered about possible military assistance has created doubt about that. So let's wait and see. I do think this, however, undermines Xi Jinping's strategy of trying to have his cake and eat it too, right? Remember, he didn't vote with Putin on the various United Nations General Assembly resolutions condemning the war, right? Only 5 or 6 countries did that, the rogue states. He didn't do that. He then put out his peace plan, which, by the way, President Zelensky did not denounce as quickly as the Biden administration did. But by going to Moscow and not going to Kiev, I think he's sending a pretty strong signal about what side of this war he's on. And I think that's a mistake on his part. I think if you're going to go to Moscow, keep flying to Kiev. If you're going to pretend to be a peacemaker and put out a peace plan and be neutral mediator, you got to engage both sides.
I was just going to say, if he shows up in Kiev next week, I think it puts us in a more complicated spot as observers or as partners with Ukraine. That's for sure. Mike, before I let you go, John Bolton was here yesterday and said he thought the drone incident deserved some retaliation, something, and he would have recommended kicking 30 or 40 Russian diplomats out of the country. He wasn't saying kinetic response, but something. What say you?
Yeah, I think there should be some response, and maybe there still will be, by the way. There should not be a kinetic response. We should not stumble into a war with Russia over this incident, and I applaud the Biden administration for responding but not overreacting. But now where they should react, in my view, is give more weapons to Ukraine. We want this war to end. We don't want to have these kind of conflicts that could pull us into a conflict with them. And in my view, the faster we give more weapons and better weapons to Ukraine, the faster this war ends. So the response should be armed reapers to Ukraine instead
Faster.
of something in response to this unarmed reaper in international waters.
Right. Don't let this incident let us slow roll, which is in some ways what Russia has kind of successfully gotten us to do for about a year now. Mike McFaul, former ambassador to Russia, thanks for coming on, sharing your expertise.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.